Hi, Rigsters here, now with a post-commander rework V1 video, and I decided to do, as a first ship to cover the commander rework for cruisers, the most infamous Tier 5 normal credit cruiser for the US tech tree, the USS Omaha, or aka Free Citadels, meaning that you take a ton of damage and just pretty much blow up and die if a shell hits your way. The reason being that, I'll show you real quick here, is in the armored layout screen. The front is abysmal 13 millimeters. For end plating, arms fuses at 25, but this is really where it kills it. Any stray shell that enters this area right here, like if you're firing a shell and you fire right around in this area near the smokestacks, it's a free citadel. You can even get HE citadel by British and certain battleship caliber HE. Some destroyers even can do it too. It's really funny. But it does have some advantages over certain classes. It does have 8 with the B-Hull 152s, which on paper they're okay. I mean, they're the highest shell velocity you'll get for US light cruisers with the upgraded guns. Get 8 of those in one bice, which is the sides here, and 2 twins that kind of rotate around and stuff. It's also one of the only credit US cruisers that gets torpedoes, 5.5 kilometers. They're mostly an emergency torpedo, not to be relied upon. AA is mediocre, if okayish at best. It's not really going to stop anything. The rudder shift time is 5.7 seconds, 34 knots, which is on the slower to medium side. The detection range without upgrades is abysmal. Well, this is with running standard camo. 13.1 is the base concealment before captain skills. And some of the optimal things you want to do equipment-wise, and this ship is really hard to play. If you're a new player to the game and stuff, this is probably one of the top 5 hardest ships to play of Tier 5, in my humble opinion. I mean, gun-wise, it's not terrible to get used to. It's just the way you have to play it sometimes or try to get an advantage of is abysmal. The first upgrade you want to do is obviously get the range first, because 13.8 and 13.1 detection is abysmal. You definitely want to upgrade that first. Then go for a B-Hull, because you get better AA and an extra torpedo as well. C-Hull is not worth mounting, but you have to research it if you want to get to the Pensacola. And the AA rating goes up by a okay-ish amount. I mean, yeah, it shows a lot of quad 40s and stuff, but you only get like 3 of those in like, I guess, do you get flat clouds? No? Yeah, you get, no, I don't want to do that. You get some kind of weird 76 millimeter as well, but it doesn't really do much for you, and you lose 2 main guns. And also, with the gun upgrade, stock guns are 8-second reload, 1.5 seconds faster turn time, but the upgraded guns are much more worth it because you have a much faster rate of fire, 1 second faster. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a difference in this ship because you have to maximize your chances here. And of course, you want aiming system mod 1 in this slot. Increase your accuracy. You could do turret traverse, which also can help too. Either one's not a bad option. Don't even waste your time with priority AA unless you're doing like a aircraft carrier escort or you're helping a destroyer in a platoon and you have a CV in your platoon. Otherwise, it's not even worth it. The second one, of course, you want engine room protection. I'm not doing that in this case because I'm not spending money on that. And then for the first slot, most of the time you want to do main arm or even mag detonation, because this ship can get mag detonated more frequently too. Captain skills, Rework has changed quite a lot here. I used to do Last Stand, but I think I'm going to actually grease the gears. which will decrease it to a much more manageable 20.9 seconds. And for skill point 2, with the commander rework, this used to be more effective. They nerfed it to 1% instead of 2 for fire chance by main battery and secondaries. There's no point in doing fill the tubes. This is not a torpedo boat in the slightest. Consumable enhancements, maybe. You could do that. Priority target, well, this ship is already priority target, so you could, I guess, do that. I guess I'm just gonna increase the fire chance just in case. And then for the third and final skill, because this is 6-point commander, I only can pick one. Heavy HE and sap shells. Not worth it on this ship. It has such terrible detection. You don't want to be spotted even sooner. No point in getting extra torpedo damage because it's 5.5 kilometers. Adrenaline Rush is very useful. It's still the most useful universal skill to put on a ship that is not a carrier, ideally. I guess you could do it in a carrier, but what would be the point? What's another one? Superintendent is also still useful. You could still do that if you want. Or if you want, for memes, you could do Survivability Expert, but in some cruisers, this actually does help a lot. This actually could work. But I'm going to go with Old Reliable Adrenaline Rush. And then for the fourth skill, which I can't get, but I'll show you. Concealment Expert, of course, is mandatory. Nurse Fuse is useless because of the tier it fights. Radio Location is still useful for certain classes. Outnumbered, it's risky. It's not a heavy cruiser, so this is not really a worthwhile skill. But if you're in a heavy cruiser, you can. This one makes no sense. Top grade gunner for the Omaha. On the main battery after an enemy spotted standard detection rate. Actually, it might work. Because since you're getting spotted so often, you could do top grade and heavy HE. So you always permanently have minus 8% main battery reload. But I'm not sure if it's super effective. I could try that out, actually. But I don't have 4 points, so let's just master this here. And you hit yes. And if you want to redistribute this for free, you have to keep them on the same ship. You just hit redistribute, and there's 0. So you can hit yes, and I can change out the skills later at a later time. Now it's only going to be for a limited time when you do that for the commander skills. That's not going to be free forever. It's just for till they decide that it's now going to charge you again. And another last thing of note for the ship configuration here, I'll go back to the equipment. It does get hydro, which is 3 to 4 kilometers. I believe it still does on the A hull, but don't quote me on that. Definitely know the B and C hull get it, obviously. And of course fighter planes, which they're not very useful, but at least it helps. So I'm going to take this ship into a match, and I'll see you there. Here goes nothing. Alright, so we're in a match. We have the Hood, Lion, as the most deadly, Algerie as the most deadly cruiser, and other fellow Omahas and the like. Now the AP pen on this ship for its tier is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's you certainly can actually dev strike other Omahas, for example, or do heavy damage to other light and some heavy cruisers that are tier 6 or lower. Anything tier 7, you're just going to have to spam HE. And let's see here. What else have we got? This is on the map Twin Brothers. Rudder shift with the B and C hull are pretty much the same. It's average. Torpedo angles are mediocre, I would say. Alright, so I'm detected. And what else do we got here? There's a enemy Omaha, Electric Mayhem. I already have it on the AP, good. Just waiting for him to show a little more broadside. Now this is one of the last broadside cruisers of the U.S. credit line. The rest of the U.S. cruisers do not have broadside style. And see, as you can see, the enemy Omaha already took 4,700 with 5 standard and 1 overpen. And what else do we got here? There is a Ashan here as well. And the New Mexico coming in. And on our side, we have 2 BBs, me and Königsberg as the cruisers. It's going to be an interesting fight here for D. The enemy destroyer's already started capturing it. I'm going to switch back to HE. Oh, actually you would switch back to AP. Gotta start turning hard though. Alright, let's see here. Let's do a multi-shot. Let's get that there and see this poor Omaha on the enemy team. This is what usually happens to the Omahas when you're not kiting. You have to keep constantly shooting in Omaha, and he's not even trying to shoot. There we go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, an Omaha can indeed kill another Omaha. This would probably be the ship Peyton Manning would play. Although, I'd feel kind of bad for him because this ship is very mediocre if you don't know what you're doing. It has its pluses. I mean, if you play any ship right, it can actually start to show what it can do. But this is definitely not a beginner-friendly ship. The only other ship I could think of for new players for Tier 5 cruisers that's not beginner-friendly is either the Furitaka, this, or the... I think the Tier 5 Russian cruiser. The German and French are easier to play in some ways. Oh god, we already have 2 people running into sea already. I'm gonna pop Hydro. Okay. And then the Mexico's up there. Having the extra range in the Omaha is very important. Because if you don't have that range, I would have not been able to even attempt a shot at the New Mexico. Now, CVs are pretty common in Tier 4 to 6. For a variety of reasons. The Tier 4 and 6 CVs are still the most popular tiers. You will occasionally see your Tier 8 ones at the higher tiers. But the lower ones, of course, are going to be more there because the AA is not as difficult. Because ships don't have as good anti-aircraft capabilities. So you have to keep that in mind if you decide whether or not if you want to lose, like, part of your firepower for something that's okay-ish. AA, it's not going to really stop a lot, though. Wow. The Helena killed the Monty. Okay. That's the Italian Tier 5 cruiser. And they already set him on fire. So the 1 extra fire percent chance, 13%, actually is more useful than I anticipated. Normally it would take 2 salvos to do that. Even if he wasn't fire prevented. I think he has fire prevention on it. Most good battleships will still build for that. And then they'll just try to set more fires on him. The shell velocity is kind of interesting. Because it goes from like pretty fast to pretty slow. Where the shells don't fly as flat. And my hydro is run out. Kind of expected DDs a little earlier. So I probably was a little bit too early on doing that. I know where he's at though. As you can see also, I'm rudder shifting pretty frequently. This is one of the few ways of surviving in Omaha is to constantly be changing your heading. You don't want to always show your broadside the whole time. Just want to be constantly shifting from left to right. And luckily most of your firepower is at the front quarter of your ship, so it's not like a huge loss if you don't always get your rear turret to shoot. I just have to aim better, that's all. Oh jeez. Okay, he missed. He only got 1 hit on me. Okay, let's try that again. It's also good for dodging torpedoes. There we go, I got the hit there. New Mexico's back. Okay. Let's try that there. Did a full salvo fire. Oh, geez, non-pen. You'd think that would actually do some damage, but I guess not. Just watching the minimap. Oh, he caught me broadside. Yep, this is gonna hurt. Yep, that's the Omaha experience for you. Just that one little salvo, and half my health is already gone. I'm trying not to expose my citadel too much here. Let's see here. Gotta take the risk though, because I gotta start doing more damage to this New Mexico. Oh, no pen again. Gee, Manise. What's it take to get some damage going on this guy? There we go. I mean, I know it's not good HE pen, but holy smokes. Should be getting at least a little more fires than that. You put it out, but that's okay. Sometimes reducing your throttle can help too, but only for so much. Yeah, I'm gonna go full speed. Dodge these torpedoes. Yeah, there we go. That was some good torpedo dodging. Gonna try to close the range on this Ashen. I like how I do so little damage to a New Mexico with HE. Any other ship would have already started burning them down again. Alright, there's the Ashen. Let's see if we can get some good hits on him. Now, the Omaha actually is pretty effective at hunting certain destroyers. Within reason. I mean, it's not a great destroyer killer, but it definitely can do it. With the sheer amount of guns you can fire at them. If I can actually ever hit, would be the question. Oh, yep, citadel. Almost killed the destroyer too. But at least the teammates got him. So, for the first match, that was 1 kill, 2 fires, 87 shell hits, 31,000 damage, 510,900 blocked or dodged. So that's pretty much how... Oh god, the Ashen killed our Akatsuki. Wow. So that's pretty much how that one worked. So I'll see you back in port.